They settle down by the water, the forest quiet around them. Kem gratefully takes a bite of bread, trying to regain her strength. Yoshi observes from his desk. It's been over an hour since they left the village. This path is probably a little too much for Kem. While they rest, Mulus begins to strategize. I'm not sure how many monsters are left at their base, but there were countless corpses besides the villagers. My comrades should have repelled many of them, he recalls, referencing a past battle, so I don't believe there are too many remaining. Gams nods in agreement. I'm guessing there aren't many unscathed monsters either. Mulus continues his analysis with a grim expression. There are 3 types of monsters here: black dogs, ferocious boars, and green goblins. The first 2 don't take their prey alive, so it has to be the goblins. The word prey hangs in the air and Yoshi's focus sharpens. A chill runs down Yoshi's spine. I've been treating this like a simple hostage rescue, but are those kids okay? He takes a drag from his cigarette, a dark thought consuming him. In a game this realistic, a cruel ending wouldn't be strange at all. As his anxiety peaks, Mulus gets to his feet. We should be going now. With their short break over, the party presses on. Suddenly Mulus throws up a hand, halting the group in their tracks. He brings a finger to his lips, signaling for absolute silence. They've arrived. Peeking through the dense foliage, they finally lay eyes on their destination. Below them, nestled against a cliff face, is a crude goblin settlement. Several goblins mill about, while a massive, ogre-like beast stands guard with a club. The creatures are completely oblivious, tending to a fire and sharpening their weapons. Their primitive huts are scattered across the clearing. And a dark cave entrance looms at the back of the camp, likely where the children are being held. From his godlike view, Yoshi does a quick head count. I can already see 9 green goblins. He leans back worried. Taking on this many at once would be dangerous, no matter how good Gams and Mulus are. The party remains hidden, watching the sentries and weighing their options. The tension is palpable. A frontal assault would be suicide. Yoshi thinks if only it wasn't a clear sky, we could sneak in and close the distance. A bright, sunny day like this is the worst possible weather for a surprise attack. He sighs, it would be nice if I could just make it rain, but he stops. A sudden realization hits him. Wait a minute, there isn't there. His eyes dart across the screen as he remembers a feature from the game's tutorial. His cursor flies towards an option: weather control. A grin spreads across his face. If rain falls, it'll mask their footsteps and obscure visibility. If they run inside to take cover, attacking them would be a cinch. He opens the menu and is blown away by the options: clear sky, cloudy, rain, snow, torrential rain, blizzard, even typhoon. He assumes the cost in fate point scales with the intensity. He scratches his head, filled with regret. I shouldn't have cheaped out. I should have tested this at least once. It hurts not knowing how heavy the rain will be. Should I just go all out with torrential rain here? With no other choice, he clicks the riskiest option. But instead of instantly activating, a new interface pops up. What's this? He murmurs, so I can designate the exact area for the miracle. A top-down map of the goblin camp appears. With a circular reticle, he can move with his mouse and resize with the scroll wheel. I figure the bigger the radius, the more fate points it'll cost. And I guess clicking puts it into action. With his target set directly over the goblin camp, he clicks the mouse. Yoshi stares intently at the screen, his command sent to the heavens. Back in the game world, the clear sky begins to darken in an instant. The first few drops of rain begin to fall from the suddenly overcast sky. Mulus, Kem, and Gams look up, completely bewildered by the abrupt change in weather. In the camp below, the goblins are equally confused as a light drizzle turns into a torrential downpour. The monsters roar in frustration, caught off guard by the sudden storm. Just as Yoshi predicted, they abandon their posts and scramble for the shelter of their huts. Within seconds, the once bustling camp is empty, pounded by the heavy rain. Mulus watches the scene unfold, his mind racing, for the weather to change so conveniently. But Kem is beaming with excitement. It happened just now, the faintest sparkle shined from the Bible. I'm only guessing, but could this be assistance from the god of fate? He must be guiding us. Under the cover of a torrential downpour, Gams prepares for the infiltration. He hands his heavy gear to Kem, stating, we should be able to ambush their habitat now. Kem, hold onto my gear, I want to move as light as possible. Kem nods, her voice laced with worry. Understood. I beg of you, please be careful. With daggers drawn, Gams and Mulus are ready to move. I'll go this way, Mulus says, pointing. Gams gives a sharp nod. Right. The 2 warriors split up, melting into the rain-soaked woods. They move like ghosts through the storm, the rain masking their approach. Their footsteps are silent splashes in the muddy terrain of the goblin camp. Gams and Mulus weave between the crude, straw-thatched huts, daggers at the ready. Gams cautiously checks the first hut, finding it empty. His expression is grim, a mixture of focus and frustration. Any goblin that stands in their way is cut down with silent, ruthless efficiency. His eyes scan every shadow, searching for any sign of the missing children. The only sounds are the rain and the dying gasps of the goblin sentries. Gam stands over another fallen goblin, his resolve hardening with each kill. But hut after hut, they find nothing, the children are nowhere to be seen. The two warriors regroup in a clearing, the rain plastering their hair to their faces. Gams gets straight to the point. Did you find the children? Mulus gives a slow, frustrated shake of his head. No luck. Let's keep going, Gam says, his determination unshaken. Watching from his monitor, Yoshi murmurs to himself, impressed. They're managing to do this without being detected. He recalls the flawless stealth takedowns he's been witnessing, a testament to their skill. Yoshi thinks all that's left is for them to find the children and rescue them. Back in the game, the systematic search of the goblin camp continues. After clearing the entire village and finding no trace of the children, their search leads them to a dark, ominous cave carved into the cliffside at the back of the camp. They meet back up with Kem. Did you find them? Gams asks, already knowing the answer. Mulus confirms their fears, no. Gams's gaze hardens as he stares at the cave entrance. That means that is the only place left. Taking charge, Gams declares, I'll head in first. Without a moment's hesitation, he charges into the suffocating darkness of the cave. But he stops dead in his tracks, his face frozen in shock. Something inside sends him leaping backward out of the entrance. Kem calls out in confusion, Big brother, what is the matter? But Mulus senses the danger instantly. Kem-san, get back. A hulking, monstrous shadow emerges from the cave, its sheer size blocking out the light. Gams lands in a defensive stance, bracing for whatever is coming. It's a monster beyond their expectations, a massive, red-skinned cyclops. It effortlessly catches Gams's blade in its bare hand, halting his attack completely. Its single, malevolent eye glares down at him with raw fury. Gams can't believe it. You're kidding me, a red cyclops in a place like this? The beast doesn't give him time to process, already swinging a colossal wooden club. The cyclops brings its weapon down with terrifying force. Gams raises his sword to block, steel screaming against wood. Big brother, Kem screams in terror. Watching the screen, Yoshi shouts in panic, Gams. The impact is immense, sending Gams flying backward like a ragdoll. The red cyclops looms over him, ready to finish the job. Mulus reacts in a split second, drawing his bow and letting an arrow fly. The shot is perfect, striking the monster directly in the chest. But as the arrowhead makes contact, it bounces off the cyclops' rock-hard skin, completely useless. Yoshi stares at his screen, his mind reeling. It repelled Mulus' arrow so damned easily. His voice rises in disbelief. Just how fucking tough is this thing's skin? As the monster towers over the party, a description flashes on Yoshi's screen. He reads the grim stats, a wild, ferocious species that eats human flesh, a creature that ordinary hunters are no match for. He thinks, his hope dwindling, can they even defeat a monster like this? The battle rages. On one side, the colossal red cyclops, its club raised high, ready to smash everything in its path. On the other, the lone swordsman Gams, standing his ground against a monster that towers over him. The beast's single eye glares down with pure malice, promising a brutal end. But Gams is no pushover. He weaves and dodges, his blade a blur as he parries the cyclops' relentless, earth-shattering strikes. Again and again the club comes crashing down, but Gams meets it with steel, refusing to give an inch. He deflects another crushing blow, the impact sending shockwaves through the clearing. The cyclops roars in frustration, its power immense. Gams grunts, the strain showing on his face. He's holding on, but the sheer force is taking its toll. From the tree line, Mulus lets an arrow fly, aiming for a weak spot. But it's useless. The arrow just sparks off the cyclops' rock-hard skin, completely ineffective. Mulus grits his teeth in frustration, while Kem watches in horror. Watching from his monitor, Yoshi can't believe what he's seeing. For Gams and Mulus to still be no match for it together, this red cyclops. It's the most powerful monster I've ever seen so far. Gams is evading it by the skin of his teeth at the moment, but if he were to take even one direct hit, he would turn into a sitting duck. Kem cries out, Mulus-san, at this rate Big Brother will, but Mulus is silent, his mind racing. He makes a decision. If ordinary arrows won't work on it, I have no choice but to use poisoned ones. Mulus reveals a small vial. This is a secret poison passed down within my family. They say that no one has ever survived it. We might have a chance of winning if I pierce it with a poisoned arrowhead, he admits. However, whether or not I'm strong enough to get it to penetrate that tough skin is. Kem gasps, you're kidding. Yoshi watches, his heart sinking, so they're out of options. He buries his face in his hands. If this was the case, I should have told them to bring the wooden statue all the way here, even if it would have been awkward. Yoshi considers the tools at his disposal. All I can do now is either send a message to them through a prophecy or use a miracle's power. The instruments at their disposal are the poison, the Bible, and the pouch that Gams gave Kem. He thinks of the most logical yet brutal strategy. Should I tell them to flee in a prophecy, the most certain method would be to leave Gams behind while Kem and Mulus escape themselves. It's a horrifying thought, sacrificing one to save two. I can't imagine them escaping from the red Cyclops unharmed. Once those two escape, this wise Gam should quickly catch on, and with some gaudy movements, grab the enemy's attention and serve as a decoy. He tries to distance himself, to think of it like just a game. They are all characters in a game at the end of the day, mere NPCs. Even if they die, that is just a part of the game. It is not real death. But he can't. If only I could convince myself of that, I wouldn't be so worried. No, everyone must return alive. He stares at his screen, desperate. There must be a way. A game that cannot be beaten is not a game. Something, anything. Images of the villagers flash through his mind, their lives hanging in the balance. He racks his brain for a way to turn this impossible situation around. And then it hits him, a spark of inspiration. Could it work? He doesn't hesitate. Never mind, it's now or never. His fingers fly across the keyboard, inputting the commands for a new prophecy. Back in the game world, the Bible in Kem's hands begins to glow with a divine light. There is light coming from the Bible, she exclaims. Mulus looks over, stunned. Could it be enlightenment from the god of fate? The pouch Gams gave her also begins to glow, confirming the divine intervention. Yoshi watches his plan in motion. I've told those two my strategy. What I should do now is activate Thunderstorm via weather control. On his screen, he drags the cursor, shrinking the storm's radius to a precise circle around the battlefield. Gams is on his last legs, using his sword to prop himself up. The shadow of the Cyclops looms over him, ready to deliver the final blow. Yoshi narrows the target zone as much as possible, focusing all the power on the monster. The Cyclops raises its club one last time. A bolt of pure energy splits the sky. Yoshi slams his hand down. Now. He clicks the mouse, unleashing the miracle. The heavens open up. A massive bolt of lightning crashes down, striking the red Cyclops head-on. The monster is engulfed in the blast, its body charred and smoking. Gams looks on, completely shocked by the sudden turn of events. But Yoshi's face falls. The Cyclops is still standing. It stumbles, dazed and wounded, but not dead. So even a direct lightning bolt isn't enough to kill it, Yoshi thinks still. This is the opening they needed. It's up to you now, Mulus. Mulus draws his bow, his expression one of intense focus. The Cyclops roars in agony, its mouth wide open, a perfect target. Mulus releases the arrow. It flies straight and true. Yoshi screams at his screen, Gio. The arrow sails directly into the monster's gaping maw. A direct hit, but the fight isn't over. The Cyclops, in a shocking move, grabs a log from its back and shoves it into its own mouth, plugging the wound. It seems to have countered their attack. Yoshi curses, fuck. But a sly grin spreads across his face, is what one would normally think, right? This was all part of the plan. He activates his next miracle, Summon Golem. On the tip of the arrow lodged in the Cyclops' throat, the tiny wooden statue tied there begins to glow. In a flash of light, the golem springs to life, sword in hand, inside the beast. It lands on the log, ready for action. Yoshi grabs his controller, taking direct control of the miniature warrior. The golem charges down the Cyclops' throat. The monster has no idea what's happening inside its own body. It gags and chokes, confused by the strange sensation. The red Cyclops roars, a hulking beast of pure muscle and rage. But Gams and Mulus stand their ground, ready for the fight of their lives. The battle was a desperate one, but it all came down to a single, insane plan. Yoshi recalls the strategy he sent them. In a flashback, Kem prepares to read the new prophecy. I will read out the prophecy. She begins, I will now summon a thunderstorm around the red Cyclops. Once it is over, fire an arrow into its mouth. But simply firing the arrow is not enough. The prophecy shows them the small wooden golem. Poison the little one, Mulus understands, drawing a vial of his family's secret poison. And then fire it while tied to the arrow. He carefully lashes the poisoned golem to an arrowhead, creating a Trojan horse on a microscopic scale. Back in the present, the red Cyclops gags, its massive throat constricting. Deep inside, the tiny wooden golem, now activated, lands in the monster's gullet. At his desk, Yoshi grips his controller, a manic grin on his face. This is game over for you. He triggers the miracle, and the golem inside the Cyclops begins to expand rapidly. It grows and grows, shattering the beast from the inside out. The Cyclops' head explodes in a shower of black viscera. A gaping, steaming maw is all that remains of its face. The colossal, headless body teeters for a moment. Before crashing to the ground, the monster is finally defeated. Boo-woya, Yoshi throws his fist in the air, ecstatic. Well done, yeah. But on the battlefield, the mood is far from celebratory. Gams looks past the corpse of their foe. He turns to Kem. My prophecy's over for today. I'd like to thank the three of them and celebrate together, but now the rescue of the children awaits. Their true mission lies within the dark cave ahead. Gams takes charge. There might be more enemies. I will go and take a look first. Mulus, his face tense with anticipation, nods. Please do. Gams vanishes into the oppressive darkness of the cave, leaving the others to wait. Mulus watches nervously. Yoshi too stares at his screen, the triumphant feeling replaced by a knot of dread. A few tense moments pass. Then Gams emerges from the darkness. Kim calls out to him, "Big bro." But the look on his face stops her cold. His expression is grim, utterly defeated. He turns his back to them, his silence speaking volumes. Finally he speaks, his voice heavy. "Mulus-san, please go in and confirm, and Kem, stay here." Kem panics, "Big brother, I am ready for this as well, moreover they may still be breathing." Gams's voice is firm, filled with a pain he wants to spare her. "This is my decision as your older brother, I don't want you to see it." Kem is left speechless, understanding the terrible finality in his words. She can only watch as Gams and Mulus disappear back into the cave. The entrance seems to swallow them whole. They step out of the darkness. Kem waits, her heart pounding. Suddenly Mulus stumbles out and collapses, his body racked with grief. "Mulus-san," Kem cries, rushing to his side. On his knees Mulus can barely look at them. "You too, thank you very much for coming to my aid." His voice breaks. "I'm truly sorry that we could not be of help." Gams clenches his jaw, telling him, "Please raise your head." Watching from his room, Yoshi can't hold back his own tears. "I can't." It is already heart-wrenching just to see them like this. The raw pain of his characters feels all too real. Kem, her own eyes wet with tears, places a hand on Mulus's shoulder. "Mulus-san, will you not allow me to make a prayer for the deceased so they can rest peacefully?" Broken, Mulus whispers, "Please, do." The screen fades to black. Yoshi narrates after that. "I watched as the three of them buried the children." He reflects on the game's brutal reality. In a typical game, scenes like these would be cut out. And the idea would be to begin with them, finally arriving back in the village they were in before. However, this village of fate isn't like that. In this game people live, and people die. The three heroes stand before three small graves, a silent, heartbreaking testament to their failure. Breaking the somber silence, Kem turns to Mulus. "Mulus-san, why not return to our village for now? Would you not agree, big brother?" Gams quickly agrees. "Yeah, everyone in the village is worried about you too." Mulus looks up, considering their offer. He bows his head slightly. "Very well, I shall kindly oblige." Gams lets out a quiet sigh of relief. And so the trio begins their long, somber journey back to the village. As they approach the gates, they see the villagers waiting for them. Little Carol's voice rings out, "Big brother, Mulus-san, and sister-in-law." "Welcome back, Tilda," she cries, running towards them. She throws her arms around a stunned Mulus, hugging him tightly. The unexpected warmth and kindness catch him completely off guard. Gams and Rhodys watch the touching scene. Layla gently comforts Carol, who has burst into tears. The weight of their journey is felt by everyone. Rhodys steps forward with a kind smile. "Everyone, you all have worked hard. I take it you all have not eaten anything. I will prepare you all meals now, so please rest yourselves after eating." Yoshi watches, his heart swelling with emotion. "You all did your best, you've all done very well." Later Layla approaches Mulus. "Mulus-san, you're free to stay as long as you wish." He can only manage a quiet, "Thank you very much." Yoshi contemplates the future. What will Mulus do from here? For me, I'd like him to become their comrade, but only he knows his inner feelings. If he decides to leave this place and live alone, I would not try to stop him by force. Regardless of how he ends up, I hope Mulus's wounds can recover quickly. In a dark dream, Mulus stands alone at the edge of a jagged cliff, his expression grim. The ground beneath him gives way, and he begins to fall backward, plunging into a bottomless dark abyss. His feet slip from the precipice, sealing his fate in the nightmare. Yoshi jolts awake, his heart pounding in his chest. While he gasps, sitting up in a cold sweat. He looks out his window at the morning light, trying to calm his racing pulse. Just a dream, huh? But the nightmare felt too real. He scrambles to his computer, a single thought consuming him: how's Mulus? He quickly logs into the village of fate. On the screen he sees Mulus sitting alone on his bed, head bowed in despair. Yoshi lets out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. Phew, so he's all right then. He watches the somber elf, relieved. He looked like he was tormenting himself last night, so I expected the worst. I'm glad it was just me worrying too much. Elsewhere in the village, life goes on as the others gather for a meal. But even as they eat, there's a noticeable tension in the air. Carol looks towards Mulus's room with concern. Mulus-san hasn't left his room at all, has he? The others share her worried expression. Layla voices her thoughts. You don't think he's hungry, do you? But Rhodys gently places a hand on Carol's head. Let's just be quiet for now. Carol nods meekly, okay. A heavy silence falls over the table, their thoughts with their grieving friend. Watching from his monitor, Yoshi sighs. Mulus will need some more time before he gets better, won't he? The sight of Mulus, isolated and in pain, weighs on him. I don't recall there being any miracle that I could use to cheer the villagers up. As his cursor moves across the screen, a new option catches his eye. Egg gacha. He stares at the screen, confused. Was something like this here before? A description pops up explaining the new feature. It's a free gacha once a month with a chance to get an avian, reptilian, amphibian, or even a monster egg. The text continues, whatever hatches will become a faithful servant to the first person it sees. It can be a pet or even raised for food. Yoshi mulls it over, so you can get an egg but you don't know what it'll hatch into. He starts running through the possibilities. If it's a bird, they might be able to secure a regular supply of eggs. If it's a reptile or amphibian, they could grill it to eat or keep it as a pet. If it's a monster, he imagines, it could be raised to serve in combat. It would be pretty promising as a soldier, wouldn't it? If it's a rare monster, then even more so. He shrugs, his decision made. Since it's free, I guess it's fine to try it out without thinking much of it. He clicks the button, and a slot machine-like interface appears on screen. Oh, it started moving, he thinks, watching the different eggs flash by. He realizes he can't really time it. I guess I can't stop it exactly where I'd like it to. To begin with, I can't determine what's inside them just from their shells. So there's no point in fussing over it. With a click he hits the stop button. The reels spin wildly. They slow down, passing over a spotted egg. And finally land on a simple plain white egg. Yoshi looks at the result. In the end, it's simple yet modest, It doesn't look like a chicken egg, so what exactly is it? A notification pops up. You have acquired an egg. It will be placed near the village. Yoshi blinks. He stares in disbelief. So it's not given to the villagers directly but left somewhere close to the village. The game shows him the location, just outside the village walls in the forest. So this is where it is. Yoshi leans back in his chair. Well, I can't just leave it there, so I guess I should tell everyone about it with a prophecy. In the village, Kem gathers the others and reads from the sacred text. A frail white-shelled being can be found in the forest. He continues Yoshi's prophecy. Whether it may be of use to you all is unknown, but its acquisition would be of amusement. I will allow you all to determine what to make of it. Whether it be to raise it or to consume it is your choice. A few minutes later, the villagers head into the forest to investigate. Carol spots it first. Papa, Mama, I found it. She holds it up triumphantly, drool forming at the corner of her mouth. Why, it's an egg, we can eat it in an egg dish then. Layla quickly intervenes. Hey, we mustn't eat it. She takes the egg gently. The prophecy tells us to do whatever we wish with it, but it is a gift from God, so we must treasure it. Carol looks at the egg, her dreams of a meal dashed. But she quickly brightens up. Okay, I got it. She walks over to the village's offering shrine. Placing the egg down carefully, she bows. God, thank you very much. I was told to treasure it, so please take good care of it instead, God. In a flash of light, the egg vanishes. Back in his room, Yoshi watches the screen, his mind blown. This is the same scene that happens when someone offers a tribute, isn't it? The realization hits him like a truck. SOTHAT means, they sent me the egg. Meanwhile, Layla and Carol are in a full-blown panic, thinking they've offended their deity. God, we sincerely apologize. My daughter did not bear any ill will. They bow repeatedly, begging for forgiveness. I beg of you, please forgive us. Yoshi just watches, thinking they really don't need to worry so much. He sighs, accepting the bizarre turn of events. Still, I guess the egg will be sent to me tomorrow then. So, what kind of egg is it then? It would be dangerous to consume it if it isn't a chicken's, so maybe I should incubate it once the egg arrives. He pulls out his phone and searches for animal eggs. The results bring up images of snakes. I'm not really good with those, though. I guess the most similar-looking one would be a reptilian egg. Then a wild thought crosses his mind. Wait, if it's being sent here from the Village of Fate, it may even be possible to get a real monster egg. He quickly shakes his head, dismissing the idea. No, that's simply absurd, isn't it? It's probably some lizard or snake that's safe to raise as a pet, which means the only issue would be my family then. The next day, his mother's voice rings through the house. You've got another parcel as always. Yoshi looks up from his computer. I'm sure that's it. He checks the delivery form. It's not marked raw food like the usual gifts from the village. It's marked animal. He goes to the door and takes the box from his mom. Here. His mother watches eagerly as he prepares to open it. Is it meat or fruit again? Inside, nestled in straw, is the large white egg. It looks like an egg, but I don't think this is a chicken's. They both stare at the strange object. I think it might be reptilian, Yoshi mutters. His mother's eyes widen with a sudden realization. Could it be that you? Are you trying to raise a reptile to get Sayuki to like you more? She asks, a knowing look on her face. Yoshi can only sweat in response. She smiles. That girl adores reptiles after all, and your father also liked them in the past, so I guess that's what you'd call genetics him. Well, he raised lizards back when he was a bachelor, she continues. He got his family to take care of them after we got married though. You see, since Sayuki likes them as well, she raises them in her room, you know. Yoshi is stunned. No, I actually never knew about that. Sayuki likes reptiles and raises them. I never knew that since I haven't gone into my little sister's room for close to a decade now. His mother just chuckles. I found them rather cute after seeing them a few times. It's incredible what you can get used to. Yoshi can only manage a week, yeah. The revelation hits him hard. It's shocking that I haven't grasped what my little sister likes. To think that I never noticed her raising reptiles for so many years in the room next to mine. He looks at the egg, a new resolve forming. Yeah, I really must try and make an effort to improve our relationship then. Let's try and ask Sayuki how to raise it after she returns home. Later that evening, the Tsunaga family gathers for dinner. As they eat, it's a rare moment of peace for the family. Yoshi decides to seize the opportunity. Oh yeah, I was planning to ask you Sayuki, but there's something I'd like Dad's advice with as well. His father looks up intrigued. What is it? Ask away freely. Yoshi begins to spin his tale. See, I've told you before that I receive presents for helping revitalize a village, right? So, I was sent a reptilian egg from them this time. Therefore, it ended up with them asking whether I'd like to try to raise one as well, so I accepted. He looks at his sister and father. See, Sayuki and Dad both like reptiles, right? He says with a smile, thinking to himself, even though I just found that out today. To his surprise, his family is completely on board. Sayuki confirms that's correct, and his father offers his expertise. Ask whatever you'd like, I'm not a total expert, but I could still teach you a thing or two. Yoshi is ecstatic. Thank you. Oh, they're a lot more cooperative than I imagined. And so, the family heads to Yoshi's room to inspect the mysterious egg. Gathered around his desk, Sayuki examines it. This shape looks like a reptilian egg, but it's got a tough shell. His father leans in, speculating it might be a gecko or crocodile. Sayuki looks concerned. Were mini crocodiles legal? The conversation quickly gets technical, with his dad and sister discussing things like ultraviolet light and calcium absorption. Yoshi is completely lost, thinking, I can't even understand a tenth of what they're saying. But his father takes charge, springing into action. Leave those to me, I'll go and fetch a water tank and some flooring from storage. Sayuki, you prepare a feeder and water bowl. They immediately start gathering supplies. In no time, his dad and sister are expertly assembling a full-blown terrarium right in his room. With a sigh of relief from Sayuki and a proud smile from his dad, the setup is nearly complete. A perfect little habitat is ready, complete with a heat lamp, a log, and bowls for food and water. His dad declares, all done. They carefully place the egg inside its new home. As they finish up, his dad tells him, we can't determine anything until it's born, so be sure to let us know once it hatches. And don't forget the photos. Sayuki eagerly adds, be sure to promptly tell me as well. Yoshi beams, feeling a warmth he hasn't felt in a long time. Understood. Looking at the professional-grade setup, he thinks to himself, it's a godsend that I've got two reptile lovers in the family. He reflects on the strange turn his life has taken. I think it's a coincidence, but because of the Village of Fate affair, my bond with my family has been deepening each and every day. I think I might actually believe in the existence of a real god of fate that isn't me. A few days later, a Sunday is marked on the calendar. Yoshi gets dressed in a nice sweater and jacket, checking his reflection. His mother's voice calls out, shall we go? He nervously replies, all right. As he walks down the stairs, his mother, who's vacuuming, stops and stares. She eyes his outfit with suspicion. Oh my, heading out all dressed up, could this be a date? Yoshi starts to sweat. His mother's eyes narrow playfully. Hey, who's the girl? Completely flustered, Yoshi bolts for the door. It doesn't matter who it is, I will be back later. He arrives at a quiet, traditional-looking storefront, waiting anxiously. He peeks around the corner, his heart pounding. Suddenly, a cheerful voice calls out. Yoshi, sorry to keep you waiting, it's Seika, his childhood friend. Hey, Yoshi says, trying to act cool. Is your leg all right now? Seika smiles. Yep, it's all back to normal. I see, well then shall we go? He asks, leading the way. They head into a trendy cafe. Inside, they sit down with some elaborate desserts. Yoshi feels a bit awkward, thinking, this certainly does feel like a place that's hard to visit alone. Seika, however, is having the time of her life. She takes a bite and her eyes light up. Delicious, just like the rumors claimed, I think I could eat this non-stop. Yoshi just smiles, watching her. She suddenly points her spoon at him. Ah, just now, you were thinking if you eat that much you'll get fat, weren't you? Yoshi frantically waves his hands. And no, I wasn't. He thinks to himself, Seika doesn't look any different from when she was 20. Seika seems pleased with his answer. Yo, you think so? After a moment her tone becomes more serious. Say, Yoshi, the truth is I would meet with your mother every so often and ask her about how you're doing. Yoshi is taken aback. Is that so? She said that after you started interacting with those villagers, you returned to your cheerful old self. You're helping out with the revitalization of a village through the internet, right? Seika looks at him with genuine curiosity. That village, what is it like? Yoshi freezes. A cold sweat runs down his back. He can't tell her it's just a game. It would sound pathetic. If she knew he got a job just to afford microtransactions, she'd be completely turned off. He can't risk it. Besides, the game's terms and conditions forbid sharing details. However, he thinks, I cannot deny that now that I've started to play Village of Fate, my life has truly taken a turn for the better. Seika senses his hesitation. Yoshiai, he realizes he can't lie to her. He makes a decision. I'll just tell Seika my true feelings while keeping the fact that it's all a game to myself. He looks up, ready to speak. Yeah. He begins to describe the village from his heart. It's still a small village over there with a very small population. It's a dangerous place where wild animals can appear. And there isn't a stable supply of local products either. It'll still take some time before the village can develop, you see, but hey. The villagers are extraordinarily nice people, and they are all close. He pictures them in his mind. Each of them have their own roles. And everyone works with their utmost effort. He speaks with genuine admiration. Although they are in a harsh environment, just recalling their desperate lifestyle makes me want to change somehow too. I think I'd like to return something to the villagers for the courage that they brought me. But to do that I would need money, so by the time I realized it I ended up getting a job. Seika listens, a warm smile on her face. Yoshiai Tilda, you really like those people, don't you? Yoshi blushes, unable to hide his passion. Yeah. He starts excitedly telling her about the village drama. Among the villagers, there's a handsome guy in charge of the hunting, and his little sister plus one other young girl fights over him. Plus, the day flies by as he shares his stories. As night falls, they walk down the street. Thanks for tagging along with me today, Seika says. I'm glad we got to chat so much. It was fun for me too, Yoshi replies, and you did treat me after all. This sparks a playful argument at the counter. It's fine, I'll pay for it. No, I'm the one who invited you. The cashier smiles awkwardly. The customers behind are waiting. They both apologize and quickly pay. Outside, Yoshi declares, I'll be sure to pay for it all next time. Seika stops, her eyes wide. Next time, you'll come out with me again. Yoshi, flustered but happy, nods. Yeah, if Seika's cool with it. A bright, genuine smile spreads across Seika's face. Okay, she says, let's hang out again sometime. Yoshi walks home on cloud 9. He enters his house humming happily, I'm home, Tilda. As he walks into his room, taking off his jacket, a sudden chilling presence washes over him. His blood runs cold. What is this presence? Is it one of those? His mind immediately jumps to a giant roach. He grabs the first weapon he can find, a can of bug spray. Armed and terrified, he begins to frantically search his room. He checks every corner, every dark space. He even looks under his bed but finds nothing. I can't find anything. Was I just imagining things? He wonders. But then a distinct cracking sound draws his attention to the terrarium. I guess the sound's actually coming from here. It's already hatching this quickly. Before he can process it, the egg violently shatters from within. A massive, scaled head emerges from the broken shell, its reptilian eyes locking onto a terrified Yoshi. What's going to happen? In Yoshi's room, the mysterious egg from the village suddenly begins to crack. He stares in a panic. It's already hatching this quickly. What should I do? He frantically searches his room, completely unprepared. I'm pretty sure my little sister's notes were. Not good, I can't find them, he thinks, his mind racing as the cracking sound intensifies. Yoshi whips back around to the terrarium. The egg is shattering before his eyes. It's hatching, isn't it? From the broken shell, a creature with shimmering, golden scales emerges. Yoshi is stunned. A lizard. He watches, beads of sweat forming on his face, as the creature fully reveals itself. One of its heads lifts, its dark, curious eye fixing on him. As the creature stretches its long, two-headed body, Yoshi lets out a massive sigh of relief. Phew, I'm glad it didn't hatch into some strange monster. The lizard's two heads look around, taking in their new environment. When it looks up at him again, a smile spreads across Yoshi's face. It's surprisingly adorable, isn't it? The unique lizard seems to be settling in, basking under the heat lamp. Yoshi watches it fondly. I think I could raise it with love like this, he decides. That reminds me. He quickly grabs his phone, photo, and then send it to Sayuki and Dad. After sending the picture, he starts to wonder, what species of lizard is this thing? He searches online but finds no exact match. There are similar ones, but there aren't any as gilded as this one, are there? Is it because it just hatched? Leaning over the terrarium, he speaks to the little creature. For now, I was told that it's all right to leave it in this case, so just wait patiently in there, okay? The lizard looks up at him and Yoshi can't help but smile. Oh, well, aren't you an adorable little thing? Time passes and evening sets in. Suddenly his mother's voice calls from downstairs. Yoshio, food's ready. Yoshi stretches at his desk, realizing how much time has flown by. It's already this late, huh? He gets up to leave, giving the lizard one last look. The creature watches him go, seemingly content in its new home. Yoshi heads downstairs and finds his family already at the dinner table. His sister Sayuki immediately confronts him. Hey, have you been paying attention to your phone? I sent you a reply, you know. Yoshi is taken aback. Why is she in such a sad mood today? Then it clicks, come to think of it, I sent my little sister and dad a photo of the lizard and asked them what kind of species it was. He scratches his head sheepishly. Sorry, I didn't check, I can't believe it. Sayuki looks genuinely upset. Even though you sent me the photo of Lizard-chan, I wanted you to let me take a look as soon as I got home, too. Seeing how much it means to her, Yoshi gives in. Okay, I'll bring it here. Sayuki's face instantly lights up. Yippee tilde. Their mother cuts in. Hey, your food's ready. Yoshi turns to head back to his room to retrieve the lizard. But as he opens the door, he stops dead. The lizard is on the floor by the doorway. It looks up at him as if to say, why is it in a place like this? Yoshi quickly and gently scoops up the escape artist. How did you escape your case? He brings the creature back towards the dining area. Here, take a look. Sayuki gasps, her eyes sparkling with pure joy. Ah, is this the lizard Chan you showed me? Their mother interrupts the excitement. Hey, you two, it's time to eat right now. Their father stands up, clearing his throat loudly. You're making your father wait, you know. Please take your precious time with the lizard after eating. Eat your food now, he insists. Sayuki reluctantly agrees, yeast tilde. After dinner, the family makes their way to Yoshi's room. They all gather around the terrarium, mesmerized. It's really golden, Yoshi thinks to himself. I was thinking it might have looked like that because of the light, but... Sayuki is already analyzing it. What do you think, Dad? There are golden 5-lined skinks and grass lizards in Japan, but this one's closer to actual gold, isn't it? Their father adjusts his glasses, studying the creature. It has a different color, but considering how large and pointy these scales are, it's similar to an armadillo lizard. Still, is this color a mutation? The questions turn to Yoshi. Sayuki asks, Big brother, have you been told anything about what this little guy eats? His father follows up sternly, Yoshio, have you tried asking the villagers about the lizard species? Yoshi feels the pressure mounting. URK. Forced to improvise, Yoshi begins to spin a tale. Not yet. Have I told you about how the village I'm helping is in Hokkaido and how they're taking ideas for how to revitalize their village yet? His sister and father reply in unison, we know. Yoshi continues, building his lie. Hence, it seems that as part of their revitalization they are creating new species through selective breeding. Those strange fruits and that child seem to be the case as well. He looks at them seriously. Therefore, I would like to keep the lizard a secret too, not only the fruit, try not to show anyone any photos. Yoshi adds the final touches to his story. Now regarding food, it is fine with fruit, but they want me to study what it will eat later on. It also seems they want me to study whether it is capable of being raised in a typical household. His father seems to accept this. Is that so? Much later that night. Yoshi sits at his computer, finally alone. Phew, they finally return to their rooms. He realizes his life has just gotten a lot more complicated. Up until now, my family would never enter my room even if I left the door unlocked, but, judging from the circumstances, I have absolutely no doubt that they will frequently come and take a look at the lizard. He glances at his monitor. It would probably be safer to turn off my monitor when I'm not in my room. Now then, he thinks, turning his full attention to the screen, in terms of how the village is doing. He logs in to see a quiet scene. The villagers Rhodys and Layla are in bed with their daughter, Carol, sleeping between them. Layla whispers with concern, Mula-san hasn't shown his face today either, has he? Rhodys looks up at the ceiling, his expression somber. We also escaped here after our village was attacked, but we've been happy like this only because our beloved family didn't get taken from us. Layla agrees, yes, we can only provide some minor consolation by saying that time will heal his sadness, but I do hope that Mula-san can get back on his feet eventually. Watching them, Yoshi feels a pang of sympathy for the grieving elf. In another part of the village, Kem is praying while her brother Gams sharpens a tool. She turns to him with a heartfelt request. Big brother, I would like to visit the graves of the children at Mula-san's village and offer them a prayer once more. Gams looks at his sister with kindness. Sure, let us go together once Mula-san feels better. But Mulus isn't getting better. Alone in his room, he's trapped in a cycle of grief and despair. He clutches a book, his face twisted in anguish as he remembers the destruction of his home and the loss of the children. His faith is shattered, leaving only a single, painful question in his mind. Why did you not help us in our time of need? Back in the game, Mulus is alone in his room, clutching a book to his chest. He stares down at the intricate symbol on its cover, a question forming on his lips. What's this? His face twists in anguish as he looks up, questioning the heavens. Why did you not help us in our time of need? Watching from his monitor, Yoshi understands immediately. Mulus is having a crisis of faith because the god of fate, Yoshi himself, intervened when Mulus's own gods were silent. Yoshi realizes the difference between their holy books. His is a special tool he can write in to create miracles. Mulus's is likely just a book of teachings, making real divine intervention a rarity. So for Mulus to witness a true miracle from an unknown god, it's no wonder he's starting to question everything he believed in. And then a cold dread washes over Yoshi. I realize something bad just now. He thinks about his part-time job. If the villagers were to be attacked while I am at work, there would be no means of helping them. Just like Mulus's gods, he would be absent, and the village could be destroyed without him being able to perform a single miracle. He's working 3 to 4 days a week now. That's 3 to 4 days where his people are completely vulnerable. The thought of returning to his old neat lifestyle crosses his mind, but he immediately shuts it down. No, that can't happen. It would be insane to throw away this new chance at a real life that he's fought so hard for. Sitting at his desk, he searches for an answer. It would be nice if there was a way for me to watch over the village even during work, but there isn't that convenient of a means now, is there? Just as he's about to give up, his eyes catch something on the game's menu. His cursor hovers over an option he'd never noticed before: connection system. A pop-up explains everything, a dedicated app that lets you play the game anytime, anywhere on a smartphone. So they had such a convenient feature, huh? Yoshi grins. I have never had a smartphone before, so I guess I never considered it. Now, if I go to this download URL with my phone. He points his phone at the screen and begins the download. As the app installs, he watches in amazement. In moments, the download is complete. The game world appears on his phone's screen, his 580 fate points ready to go. It looks like you can handle miracles and prophecies without any issue this way. This will be useful. Leaning back in his chair, a wave of relief washes over him. He can't play during his shifts, but he can check in on breaks or during his commute. One of his biggest worries has just been solved. Later, after a long day at work, Yoshi finally arrives home. He opens the door exhausted. Phew, I'm beat. He steps into his room. I'm home. But something catches his eye. Inside the terrarium, the little golden lizard is happily munching on pieces of fruit. Did Mom feed it, he wonders, knowing his dad and Sayuki aren't home yet. His stomach rumbles. I'm famished as well, aren't I? But first things first, let's take a look at the village. He logs in to see the villagers eating together. Suddenly, the door to Mulus's house creaks open and the elf steps out. Mulus bows deeply. Everyone, I apologize for troubling you. With tears in his eyes, he continues, I have been considering this for a long time, but... He places a hand over his heart and makes a humble request. If you are all willing to allow me, will you not permit me to stay here as well? He explains that while he needs to search for his lost comrades, he knows nothing of the world outside this forest. This village is the only home he can imagine. He bows his head, his voice cracking as he pleads, so please. The villagers listen, their expressions soft and understanding. Yoshi watches the screen, his own heartstrings pulled by the emotional scene. Without a moment's hesitation, Gams breaks the silence with a warm smile. We have no reason to refuse. Welcome. Carol leaps into the air, ecstatic. Yippee, he's staying here with us. Kem clasps her hands together, beaming. I share the same opinion. I hope we can all get along from now on as well. The other villagers all chime in with their support. As they all gather around Mulus welcoming him, Yoshi can't help but smile. They truly are the best villagers. A notification flashes on screen making it official. Mulus has moved into the village.